Well, hey everybody, this is Charles Harper, and I am with Daniel Hall. And been waiting a long time to do this. Daniel Hall's really got a lot of real practical understanding of info publishing. He's been very active in Kindle, and I think one of the things that I really like about the work he has done is that he knows how to mirror those different branches like info in Kindle with info publishing, info products, and he's got a really unique understanding. And I wanted to talk to him because he's doing, or he's done, and we may have missed it, right? He's really talked about taking things that are in the public domain and really making them work. And for those of us who work with PLR, I think this is really going to be helpful because we're always looking for ways to create things that are unique, things that will really come to the marketplace that people haven't seen before, and then really ways to combine the two. So Daniel, welcome.
Hey man, thanks so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to chat with you and your community. As you well know, Charles, I'm a longtime fan and love your stuff.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, man, I know that actually I didn't know that you really did some work in this area. I've always appreciated the stuff that you've done in the past, going way back to your speaking on cruises days.
Yeah,
Right?
that goes back.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so I think the people that are that really kind of work with PLR. I want to talk about the public domain and some of the things that we should be thinking about in terms of either taking that content, first of all, finding the right things and then making something unique, or even taking those things and combining with some of the content that we already have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is sort of a hand in glove kind of idea. If you like and see uses for PLR content, then you will definitely like and see uses with public domain content as well. So I think it's probably beneficial to start off with a definition so we're all on the same page with what we mean when we say public domain content.
Right.
And that is essentially content that is not protected by copyright, which means it is in the public domain, which means, and this is the key, we could use it for any purpose without asking anyone's permission, which I love, and without paying anyone royalties to it. Okay, so it's in the public domain. We could all use it. If you're in the public, you could use it. Now, the inevitable question that I always get is, I want to do this with it, whatever. I want to make videos with it. I want to make a documentary with it. I want to write a book with, this piece of public domain. Can I do it? And the answer is always, you could do anything you want with the public domain material, as long as it's truly in the public domain without paying royalties or asking anyone, including me. Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't need to, if it's in the public domain, you don't need to ask anyone's permission. That's one of the great beauties and benefits of public domain material in the first instance. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to understand. Now, the second thing that folks often think of, if they understand what public domain is, they'll often think, well, isn't that all old?
Right.
Material, old content that's no good for anything and certainly no good for me, not worth my time, effort, or energy. And if that is what you're thinking, let me just dispel that for you, because if you know where and what to look for in the public domain, you can find some really super high quality stuff in your exact niche. Okay, and that's the other very exciting part of this. In fact, I have used what I'm about to sort of cover with you to literally publish thousands of books on Kindle. Okay, I think I've or have had over 2,000 titles on Kindle using public domain materials.
Wait. Use it. I mean, so you got 2,000 titles that came from stuff in the public domain.
Yes, exactly right. Completely. And by the way, so let's stop there for just a second, because big problem with PLR when you try to use it with Amazon. Back when Amazon Kindle first came out, they wanted to build their library, and you could put up public PLR stuff, right?
Yep.
And then very quickly, within, I don't know, year and a half, they shut that all down, and then basically anyone that had PLR stuff on Amazon, they actually closed their accounts down. There was a big slap, and a lot of people got kicked out of Amazon. Many of them to never return. They were publishing public PLR stuff. Compare and contrast that with public domain material, which in fact you can publish on Amazon Kindle if, and there are a couple criterias which I'm about to walk you through right now, if these certain things apply. So those three things that you need to apply to your public domain stuff that you are putting up on Amazon or through Kindle are: number one, a unique translation. So if there was a book, say in I don't know, Danish or Swedish, or maybe you got the the rights to the girl with the tattoo, the dragon tattoo. Maybe you got the rights to that, and I think that was in Danish, or maybe it was Swedish. I don't remember. But let's say that was in the public domain, and you got the public domain rights to it. You could have then published that work on Amazon as a unique translation into English, Swedish to English. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's for many folks, not everyone, but for many folks, that's out of the realm of possibility, unless you're doing picture books and you're maybe translating from English to Chinese or French. Which, by the way, a couple hints there, because those are some of the bigger bigger areas to do translations in.
Makes
okay,
sense. Yep.
But for most folks, translations are out. The second thing is unique annotations in your book. So, in other words, you public domain, and you do some sort of unique annotations, like a introduction from an expert, maybe that talking about the content, or maybe you've got some special insights about it. Maybe you write the prologue or a foreword to the material that qualifies as these annotations. Or maybe you do some study questions also that would apply, or maybe even prompts also. You could apply to that particular criteria or that particular exception within Amazon's terms of service. The third and easiest is to simply add 10 unique illustrations to the content. Okay, so, and those illustrations could in fact be public domain themselves. Okay. So so that's cool. Just add unique illustrations to a public domain work, and if you use one of those three, you can in fact publish directly to Amazon's Kindle if it's in the public domain. Not so, by the way, not so with PLR content. Okay, right. You cannot do that. You'll get slapped, or you're likely to get slapped eventually if they catch you publishing PLR content on Amazon Kindle. So that's really cool. I mean, I get excited about that even to this day, because there is so much public domain content out there that it's like it's like a feast, and most of it goes completely unused, and that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get the word out here. Now, I also hear, because I deal with a lot of folks that use this kind of content, especially with newbies. I will also hear, well, that's all well and good, that you have all these exceptions within Amazon Kindle, and that you can publish some of this stuff, but once again, it's all old.
Right.
It's not really usable.
Yeah.
To which I say, if you once again know where to look, and know how to find the material, you can find very up to the moment, I'm talking about published today, materials from top experts, PhDs, highly credentialed people, okay, in the industry. And I know some of you are saying, my gosh, how do I do that, right? Well, I'm about to tell you. Because the cool thing is that, get this, and I know you're going to love this, Charles.
Yeah.
Everything, pay real close attention, I'm about to say here, everything or almost everything that the U.S. federal government produces content-wise goes immediately into the public domain. In fact, it's not even eligible under copyright law, okay, for copyright protection. And you're saying, well, why? Why is that? Because you and I and all the other U.S. citizens pay for that content, right? Out of our tax dollars. That's why it's not even eligible. And get this, the U.S. federal government produces so much content daily from literally thousands of agencies from all three branches of government, okay? And if that content was produced in the course and scope of a federal employee's employment, it is in the public domain and it automatically goes into public domain. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about everything that the U.S. military produces, all the branches of the military. And they've got great content, hint, hint, okay? Everything that is produced by like the National Institutes of Health. I think there's 20 plus National Institutes of Health. Right. Think about all that great, spot on, hot, niched material on things like smoking cessation and cancer prevention and on and on and on and on, okay? So there's literally thousands of pieces of content that get produced in the public domain and get put into the public domain every day, Charles, every day, okay? So it's like you couldn't, if you and everyone we knew started doing this, we couldn't publish it all or reuse it in 1,000 years. That's how much content is out there, and it just keeps pouring out. It just keeps pouring out. I mean, look at Voice of America, for crying out loud, right? Voice of America, everything Voice of America does, or almost everything Voice of America does, goes into the public domain. And I can go on and on and on and on. In fact, I put this really what I consider to be a cutting edge training together for folks that really want to dive in and make money with it. And it's called Federal Green.
Yeah, man. So there is a way that if I'm already niched down in terms of what I talk about, let's say I'm watching this and I'm thinking I'm already kind of focused, I'm already branded, I already have an emphasis. So there's a way for me to look within my emphasis to see what's available, whether it's past, because in some cases, right, I mean, I've seen people do things with old copywriting works that were in the public domain, and that's because that's their emphasis. They were able to make that work.
Yep.
But you're talking about this up-to-date stuff. I could find something within my emphasis up-to-date and then incorporate that into a published work of some kind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and you could put it into any media that you wished. You could put it into, textual material, video, it could be audio, it could be artwork. Okay. It could be any of that stuff. Why? Going back to my original explanation, if it's in the public domain, you could use it for any purpose without asking anyone's permission or paying any royalties. Any purpose means any purpose.
So for us, and likely the people who are listening to this, the Commerce Department or,
Yes.
or Treasury,
Yep.
I mean, there would probably be works there that people who are looking to talk to other business owners, they would be able to find something that would be useful that they could, as you said, if they follow the three rules, they could turn into something.
Exactly.
Or it almost sounds like they should be, right? We should be doing this.
You should be. Get some of your tax dollars back. Absolutely. Particularly if you're an American citizen. Yeah, grab some of that money back.
Okay, so strategy-wise, obviously I could move toward doing something in Kindle. What else do you see if there? Let's say there is, let's say there's a body of work that we see as some good knowledge. Let's say we decide we to make it into a Kindle. What else could we do, let's say, that you've seen or that you've done? What other kind of stuff have you done?
Well, I could tell you what I've seen very effectively and profitably done over and over again. Okay. First off, yes, Kindle books are great, and they certainly are very easy to put together and get up and publish and get on down the road and do your next one. By the way, a very significant example of that that a publisher did and is still making bank daily, okay, from this is, remember too, the U.S. president, also a federal employee. Anything that they do while they're in office is in the public domain. So before, I'll give you an example here, and before George W. Bush, not H.W. Bush, before he got elected while he was Texas governor, he wrote a book called A Charge to Keep. And it was a best-selling book. It helped him get elected, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Well, the last I think, year of his presidency, he had he had one of his speechwriters write another book called A Charge Kept. It was published by the U.S. federal government, okay? Still available. You could still go out and publish it today. But that person took the book, republished it, and is still making about, the last I looked, about $700 a month passively on that book, A Charge Kept. So if you want to go check it out, you go to Amazon, you can check it out. It's A Charge Kept. And that was a book done while he was president, and because he was done while he was president, the book is in the public domain. And fully usable. Okay, fully usable. Give you another example. NASA takes great photos of planets and whatnot. Most of it, not all of it, but most of it is in the public domain. You could take that and there's lots of examples of this, and upload it to merch by Amazon, make T-shirts out of it, right? And make print-on-demand products from it. Okay. Another example, you can take and make courses. One of the most popular courses on Udemy is a course on hand-to-hand combat style self-defense. Most of that content got lifted directly from it was one of the special forces websites.
Come on, Daniel.
You want me to go on? I mean, there's so much here that you could play with and really build an empire on.
This is really wild. So I want you to tell us about the guide, Federal Green, because I want to give people the opportunity to get it. I'm going to put a URL here, and we'll just make it plrshow.com/Daniel. And so if people get Federal Green, what are they going to learn? Are they going to learn how? First of all, are they going to learn where to find it? I think that would be like the most important thing.
Well, yes, obviously you need to know that it exists, and where to go to find it. And yes, that's what we definitely have a focus on that. But also, more importantly, we show you and take you through and show you exactly how to determine whether it is in fact in the public domain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's another really important part of this. Most of it is, but then you've got to prove it. You've got to prove that it is in the public domain, and I take you through and show you exactly how that is done so that you have a record of it. Okay, I got it from here, and I proved it in this way, so that you've got that covered, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we take you through in Federal Green, and we show you step by step how to produce and download that information and make all different types of products with it. By the way, this is something that everyone listening should really understand. These are not obscure, topics out there. We're talking cutting edge, hot niche type of topics. Things like personal finance, right? Money, investing, real estate, self-defense, physical fitness, diet and exercise. It goes on and on and on. So if it touches the American consumer, the U.S. federal government probably has something on it, and probably a lot on it. In fact, one of the other things that I show folks how to do is find those really, really rare gems that basically have whole booklets put together for you that you could just kind of take and use the whole thing, take and use a page or two, and happily build products. And this is the thing, very, very quickly. And by the way, it goes way beyond products. It goes beyond just courses and Kindle books and those sorts of things, because you can use it to make a blog post and YouTube videos and podcast, and it just goes on and on and on. So yes, I get excited about this because it's made a huge difference in my own business. And those people that I've let in on this, that actually use it, they do very, very well with it as well. So I hope that's responsive to your question. I know it's a bit long-winded.
No, I mean, I think that the folks who are probably listening to this, they're used to really getting things and putting them to use, right? They're used to repurposing information. So this is just another area. So it's just like it's like doing the same thing, the same mindset that you have with PLR, which is reusing it, rebranding it, refitting it, and making it so that it's sellable in the right place. So Federal Green will help them to see where it is, and then how to determine it's in the public domain, and then pretty much get the content.
Correct. That is correct. They're going to show them how to get the content. Absolutely. And and then what to do with it once they have it. That's super important, because one of the great things about this is, as you well know, Charles, that when you're in business, one of the things that you really need to do is you need to essentially have lots of good quality content, right? Lots of good quality content. Well, this solves that problem, right, in a very, very big way. It solves that problem in a very big way. So yeah, if you're into PLR, you're definitely going to be into public domain. Also, I wanted to let folks know that we've posted a QR code which is, I believe, up in that top
Yep.
left-hand corner, right-hand corner. And if you scan that, it will take you over to Federal Green as well. So if you're watching this on a on a big screen TV or on YouTube or something, then you could do that as well, or just go to the plrshow.com/Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, I appreciate you you coming on, because I missed this whenever you did it, and I'm guessing that the people who are watching this, if they're if they've been listening to us, we haven't really talked it up, and it sounds like the kind of thing, as I said, that we just should be. We should understand. We should understand this, as well as the whole rebranding and everything else that I've taught, and everything else everybody else has taught about PLR, because it's just another way of bringing in good information. So everybody, there's a URL right down here at the bottom. It's the plrshow.com/Daniel. And then up to this side, there's a QR code, and it is right up there. You can use your phone, and that'll take you to plrshow.com/Daniel. You'll be able to get, the Federal Green Guide. And so everybody, I appreciate you all hanging out here. Daniel, again, man, I really just appreciate you coming on and talking to us. This is really going to be helpful to us, and I'm really hopeful that, the folks who are listening will have a chance to really put this to use. So everybody, okay, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much, Charles. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I love preaching the gospel of public domain. So thanks for the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, right on, man. So everybody, thanks very much for hanging out with me and Daniel here. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.